Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I always would like to, but I never really have any idea of who I could be talking about with this. We're talking about who could be the next Straw Hat member. Now, like I said, I usually have no one to talk about with this subject because I have no idea who's going to join next. I mean, Jinbei's already a part of it, so that doesn't count. And besides that, it's like, you never know. It's always at the last second that they join. Like, I definitely would never, ever have expected Franky to join the crew, but I mean, here we are, you know, 500 episodes later, and he's a good member of the crew, so. But today I was thinking, and I had what I think is a really good idea of who could join the crew next. So before I spew any more bullshit out of my mouth, let me just come and say that I think it is going to be Momonosuke who is going to join the crew next. Now, at first this probably does sound pretty ridiculous, considering for one thing he is a child, and as far as we know, he can't do much. But hang on, I think there's a lot of reason that he would join the crew. So first and foremost, we have to remember that he is supposed to be the Shogun of Wano. This is because his father was formerly before he died, and so it's just assumed that, you know, after Kaido's driven out or whatever, he's gonna take over. But in this case, him being young actually gives my argument an advantage. Now let's think about this for a second. I know it was like a different way of life, and it was just a different form of government when there were dynasties and whatnot, but if they drive out Kaido and Momo is supposed to just take over, he is going to be very young to be just the, essentially king of a country. Like, way too young. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, no one will really, like, argue with him having the right to be, but he just wouldn't be an ideal ruler at all. Now, wouldn't it make sense for him to go on this great journey to grow up to become enlightened before he comes back and becomes the ruler? Also, keep in mind the fact that Oden, his father, actually did go on the same type of journey. In fact, the journey itself was probably extremely similar to the one he would be embarking on because he went on Roger's ship. From what I've come to understand, actually, he was a full-fledged member of the Roger Pirates. Now, another thing is, too, that you have to consider him as an individual. And as far as we've seen, because he killed his father, Momo absolutely despises Kaido. Similar to all the times that the Straw Hats go and save a country, after they defeat Kaido, Momo is going to be indebted to Luffy. Depending on how Luffy feels about him by the end of the arc, I'm sure he's actually going to ask him to join anyway, and then he'll be like, oh yeah, let's do it. So we have that going for him too. Then another interesting fact that I thought of is that it is such a shame that because Oden died before he could pass on how to read the poneglyphs to his son, it's just like, that's over. There's no way to reclaim that knowledge. But oh, wait a minute, hang on a second here. If I'm correct, there is currently a Straw Hat member that can already read the poneglyphs. If Momo was to join the crew, he could spend all his time trying to become a greater person, better fit leader for his country, and he could spend time with Robin, which, as we know, he already loves doing, learning how to read poneglyphs. It would almost be too much of a shame for him not to take an opportunity like that at this point. Like, that is one of the greatest things that his family's ever accomplished, creating the poneglyphs and having a line that could read them. As the leader of his country and family, it would make perfect sense that he would consider that extremely important. One last idea I had is that he, again, needs to become more powerful so he can lead his country properly, most likely be the strongest person there. And even though there are plenty of samurai that would teach him to become stronger in that way while he's there, he could also have Zoro teach him on the Sunny. Zoro is eventually going to become the greatest swordsman in the world, so there's not really that many better people to teach Momo. Is he too young to join the crew? Not really, he's older than Chopper. Is he too weak? Potentially. We haven't really seen anything out of him. I mean, you do have to consider he is the son of who was most likely the most powerful person in the country at the time, so I mean, he's probably decent. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's like pre-time skip Zoro level, which isn't really that bad at all. Not to mention, he doesn't need to be like front lines or anything. Like, there's already weak people on the crew like Usopp and Nami, so I just don't really think that's too big of an issue. Would Wano crumble without a leader? Well, first of all, I mean, they could have a temporary leader for a time, but that doesn't even really matter because, like I said 5 minutes ago, his dad already left and joined the Roger Pirates until at least the time that they discovered Raftel, so No, they would be completely fine without him, especially because he is a little kid, like I said. They might be better off with an adult ruling the country. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got on the potential of Momo joining the crew. I really disliked him at first, but he did get a little bit better in Zou, and I'm sure because of that, he's going to have some great moments in Wano. So I welcome him to the crew. I hope he does join. I'm sure a lot of interesting stuff will happen if he does. So I hope you enjoyed this little theory that I came up with. If you did, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you are new to the channel, I have plenty of other videos and theories just like this one, so make sure to go check that out. And I'll see you guys Saturday.